My wife and I applied to OMF in Japan, and we were asked to take this language test, which was American-based. And after that, we heard from the language advisor that they would suggest that we would rather go to the Philippines than to Japan, because our language results were kind of like in the 30 percentile instead of the 80-90 percentile range. So that for us was a bit of a shock, but we really prayed about it. And we had that conviction that God wanted us to come to Japan, a growing conviction. And so the OMF Japan leadership overruled that and said that we could come. Learning Japanese was interesting. It's an interesting language. But after 2.5 years of language study, we still didn't have that much language. We were sent to this church. It had been started just 2 years before. And one of the church members knew of this owner of a ramen shop, a noodle shop. And he was in some great trouble, and he wanted to speak to a pastor. And so I went there. There'd be no other people in the shop. He would give me a free bowl of ramen, and I would eat the ramen and listen to him. The problem is that he told me the deep things of his heart in colloquial Japanese, and I couldn't understand anything. And so I would go there week after week praying, Lord, give me one verse for this person. And a verse would come to mind. And at the end of that, I'd open the Bible and I'd say, please read this. And he would read it and say, wow, this is speaking to me. This is amazing. And this happened over a number of months. And to this day, I still don't know what that man's problem was. So I get to take many weddings in many different venues, many different kinds of people, many different styles of ceremony. But it's amazing to see the opportunities that I have to communicate specifically with one or two of those people. It might be the bride and groom, the bride's father or the bride's mother. It might be somebody in the congregation. But God gives me avenues and opens the way for me to connect with people. And every time is different. And I need to know what to say and how much to say. And I need to feel that situation. And I believe that I'm only able to do that, not just because I've been in Japan for, 35 years, but because people at home are praying for me. Japan is a difficult country to work in. Only about 400,000 out of 127 million people are actually in active fellowship as Christians. I believe what it takes to communicate effectively in Japan is firstly a real ongoing love for Jesus, for a determination to continue to study not only the language but the culture, and to love Japanese people, to know that God will use you, and the knowledge that there are people standing behind you in prayer, sacrificially praying for God to work in this hard country of Japan.